through my years. So I definitely have that perspective down. That being said, it's possible to still stump me. I don't know every last thing about bridging yet in the last 5 months. So if you do have a question and I'm unable to answer it, I would love to have your contact information so I can circle back with you after the presentation and make sure we round out any of those questions. Are we able to get that PowerPoint going? Okay. There we are. Okay. All right. So let's see. I'll take you to my technology here too. Have you, even just a nod of the head, yes, no, have you referred clients to bridging before? Hello. Yes, yes. Okay. So it seems like a mix, but with a couple of yeses. So for if you don't know, then bridging, what we do is provide furniture, used furniture primarily to individuals who are transitioning out of homelessness or experiencing poverty. We're really connecting people with what they need for a comfortable and functioning home. We'll talk about what that looks like and how much furniture, et cetera, as we go along, but that's the basic goal of what bridging is here for. Our vision is that everyone in our community lives in a furnished home. And we know as an agency, this is just a stepping stone for most people. They have other goals, dreams, visions, but to be able to get what they need in their home so that they can function on a daily basis is so important so they can move on with the goals that all of you are working with your clients on. Let's see, we have a video here. It'll pop up in a second. We're going to give this video a try. This is going to give you a good bird's eye view of what our agency does and how we do this every day. I've been warned that because of how technology works, the audio may not work perfect. So we'll do what we can with this. The visual, I think, is still important so that you can see what our warehouses look like. That's one thing that's important as you work with your clients, that they have a good sense of what to expect when they come. So we're going to give the video a shot. I hope you can hear most or all of it. And if not, we'll send the link out after the presentation so that you can go back and watch the video. And I would also encourage you to watch it with your clients, especially if you're referring somebody with high anxiety and is not quite sure what to expect or how to go about this. It's a good video to reference. So we'll give it a try here.
Well, we're homeless for 2 months, about 3 months.
I remember that I built a circle of boxes, moving boxes, so that we could sleep in the middle because he was 8 months old and I didn't want him to crawl away if we woke up. And we slept on the floor in a circle of boxes.
Yeah. I said, this can't be life. This can't be where I'm supposed to be.
This all owes me. My name is Fran Heitzman, and I am the founder of Bridging. 30 years ago, I gave away my crib, and look what happened. Everything exploded on me.
Through the effective reuse of donated items, Bridging improves lives by providing quality furniture and household goods to those transitioning out of homelessness and poverty. What Bridging means to me is simply the community coming together and bringing the best that they have to help one another in need.
We get to come through and work with personal shopping volunteers and pick up the items they need for their home.
And we supply everything from a couch like this right down to a spoon.
So 75% of our donations come from individuals. They can either drop the items off here at our warehouse Monday through Saturday, or we do have in-home and curbside pickup service that we offer as well. And the other 25% comes from corporations, local retailers, and companies that donate their items to us.
Everything that we wanted and more.
A fresh start and a peace of mind.
Having that new foundation, having everything that you need in the beginning, so you don't have to worry about it later on down the road.
A home that looks stable, that feels stable.
We need your assistance in 3 specific areas. We need your time. Bridging's lifeblood are our volunteers. We need your quality items, new or gently used, to help us fulfill our mission. We also need your money. So whether it's $1 or For $1 million, we would appreciate your financial partnership.
When good people get together and do good things, then good things happen.
Oh, I think I exited out. Let's get back into that. So the video gives you a really good bird's eye view, again, of what we do and what clients can expect when they visit Bridging. Our story, and you saw a little bit about this. Oh, let's switch back to a video. We were founded 31 years ago. Fran Heitzman, the older gentleman in that video, was the founder of Bridging. He started this as a retirement project, and he had retired. He was back working in his church, and somebody showed up and said, "We've got a piece of furniture. Can you use it in your nursery?" And he said, "No, we can't. But we're going to go ahead and find somebody who needs that." And he started Bridging. He started collecting furniture and giving it out to those who needed it. He was eventually gently kicked out of his church space because he had filled it up. He even gave away the church's stove under the idea that it would be easier to have the church replace a stove than for an individual to find a stove themselves. He was well regarded in the community and was able to move into some warehouse spaces in Bloomington. And we've now opened a second warehouse up in Roseville. So we have the 2 warehouses. In the 31 years since we've started, we've now worked with 90,000 households in primarily the metro area, but throughout Minnesota as well. Our values, they're collaboration, dignity, equality, sustainability, teamwork, and volunteerism. You're going to see that throughout this presentation, but it really is, those are really the values that you would see and that you would feel and experience coming into Bridging, either as a case manager or along with your clients. There we go. So our model right now, we work in partnership with over 150 partner agencies. We really rely on our partner agencies to know their clients, to know who has needs, and to refer those over. There's no way that Bridging could do this on our own. We simply don't know who has a need, and we wouldn't be able to visit all those clients. It also wouldn't be appropriate for us. A lot of clients don't need and want additional providers to be visiting them, to be vetting them, etc. So we work just with our agency partners. And when you say, "I've got a client who has a need for furniture and household goods," we believe you, we trust you, we want to have them referred, and we're happy to work with them. We will talk a little bit too, if you're part of an agency that's not already a partner agency with us, at the end I'm going to talk a little bit about what that process looks like for you as well. If you have clients and you are a partner agency, feel free to refer them through whoever your primary contact is at your agency. If you have clients that you want referred and you're not a partner agency, we can either further discuss becoming a partner agency, or you can work with one of our partner agencies and coordinate how that would look for that client to move over with the other agency and be referred through another partner agency. So what do we provide? So for us, what we call this is a basic home setup. We really are specializing on connecting people with most of the items that they need for a comfortable and functioning home. This is a list of what those items are. So upholstered furniture, dresser, kitchen table and chairs, dishes, utensils, glassware, cookware, beds, linens, pillows, lamps, small appliances, and artwork. If we go here to the next slide, that's what a basic home setup looks like for a family of 4. This, of course, is everything in one space, so there's some details that you can't quite see, but I'm going to talk through a few of the items that we provide. Some of the items are based on household size, so beds is one of those items. Families would receive either 1, 2, or 3 beds, depending on how large their family is. With the upholstered furniture there, we give out to each family a minimum of 5 seats of upholstered furniture. A couch is 3, love seats 2, and a chair is 1. The reason we do that is if you're a single person and you have a chair that you walk away with, that means that you can't have anyone to your apartment or to your home. And we know that's important for social connection, to be able to invite family and friends over to be in your space, and that provides people a lot more dignity. So every family that comes through is offered a minimum of 5 upholstered seats. If the family size exceeds 5, there'd be an extra seat per person offered. And we would also talk to families about what they have space for. One of my first days at Bridging, they had me shop with a family of 12. And so we had the conversation of, do you have room for 12 upholstered seats? You absolutely are welcome to 12. But if you don't want that, or that wouldn't fit within your space, then let's talk about what would fit and what your preferences would be with that. When we look at some of these smaller items, so bed linens, towels, pillows, all of those are given out on a per person basis. So if you are that family of 12, you would receive 12 sheet sets, 12 towel sets, and 12 pillows, as well as blankets, 12 blankets for your family. Those are items we want to make sure that everyone in the household has access to, and that it's not just a couple for the family that everyone has to figure out how to divide and share up. If this is a good place to pause, if you do have questions about this, I would love to hear it. So if there's any questions, pop that in the chat box so that we can respond to this. If you have any questions about what families would receive as part of this basic home essential package. I'm going to keep going, but we'll circle back if there's anything that pops up. So shopping appointments, what does this look like for your clients? So first of all, again, the referrals would come through our partner agencies. When clients arrive for their shopping appointment, they would check in at our front desk at one of the 2 warehouses, and we're going to go through and double check that we have your correct name, your correct address, your correct phone number, so we can reach you, especially if you're a client that's receiving delivery from Bridging down the road. We want to make sure we have all of that correct. At the front window, we also give away the beds. So depending on family size, we would say, how many beds do you need? And we would assign those out. This is a good place to mention again and reinforce how important our volunteers are. All of our front desk staff are volunteers. And then when clients go back shopping, they would also be taken back by 2 shopping volunteers. To give you a perspective of how important our volunteers are, right now Bridging has approximately 33 employees. If we had to replace the hours of our volunteers, we would need to hire an additional 36 full-time staff. We are really volunteer powered at Bridging, and I think it's one of our strengths. That also means for your clients, they're going to be working with a lot of volunteers, and I think that's great because our volunteers are there only a few hours a week, and they dig in with the clients to make sure that they have the best experience possible. They really care about that experience. When the clients go on the shopping trip, they're going to be watched through the warehouse, and it will be divided out piece by piece. If you can imagine trying to fill up your home in an hour's time, it's a lot. It can feel really overwhelming to do that. And the volunteers do a great job of saying, we're going to focus first on dressers, and then we'll move to upholstered furniture, and really breaking that experience down for the clients. The volunteers will also talk to the clients about what they need. So what are you most hoping for? What do you need in your apartment? And what do you want? So that can be colors, that can be patterns, that can be, are you looking for a couple of couches or maybe a lot of chairs? They are going to try to have that experience be a really great and respectful experience for the clients that come through Bridging. A few things to note, if you can kind of see in the picture, it really truly is a big warehouse, and for that reason we don't allow children back there. So if you have clients that are part of the household, children would not be allowed back there. We would welcome them in either of our lobby areas and ask for your assistance in trying to make sure that they have some adults who can be with the children while the caregiver goes on the shopping experience. I had another piece there too and I forgot. Okay. I think that's the majority of the piece with the shopping experience. Are there any questions about that? I did remember. Just to also let you know, right now what we do is we bring one member back of the household to represent the entire family. So in general, it's just one person coming back for the shopping trip. We also know that there's clients who are going to need some extra assistance. So if there's a physical health disability, if there's mental health concerns, anxiety even that can arise, whether or not it's diagnosed, it doesn't matter. If you know that your client would find this to be a stressful experience and needs some extra help and support, and interpretation comes up a lot too. Please talk to your client about that and who would they want with them that would really be a support for them and support them in making their own decisions. The types of support that can come back there, it could be family, it can be friends, it can be formal professionals, so it could be their case manager, their social worker, a formal hired interpreter, and a family or friend who just is bilingual and can help them through that experience. All of that we are really open and welcome to. What we would ask is when you schedule the appointment on the scheduling sheet, there's a space that says, does this client need some assistance? Just check yes on that so our shopping volunteers are prepared for that as well. All right, if there's any questions, again, pop them in that text box. I'm happy to answer that as well. So delivery and pickup, there's 2 options of how to bring your things home. Either the client or somebody who is assisting the client brings the items home themselves, or you can have delivery from Bridging. With the pickup, we have a 2-day window for pickup of end of the business day on Wednesday to collect all of your belongings. you can start bringing your things home as soon as 30 minutes after the appointment. It just takes us a little while to pack up some of those smaller items, and then you're ready to go. You can also make as many trips as you want in that couple of days. We're happy to see it over and over again until every last piece of what you've selected is home. With the delivery happens the next delivery day after your appointment. So for most people, it's the next day. For Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday appointments, your delivery is going to be scheduled the next day for you. If you shop on a Thursday, delivery generally comes that next Monday. The only thing to watch out for is holidays. If there's a special holiday, it might be delayed an additional day. When clients come to their appointment, they will be told what their delivery day is. So you don't need to keep all of that in your brain. Your client doesn't either. They'll walk out with a piece of paper that says your delivery day is Tuesday. And then we call later that afternoon with a 4-hour window for them so they don't have to stay home all day long. They'll know within 4 hours when their delivery is going to come to their house or apartment. Fees, right now we are not a free service, so we do have some fees with that. Our appointment fee is $60, and for that, a family of 4 receives approximately $1,800 in thrift store value items. So we do know that we are a very good value. At the same time, we also know that that's not free, and for some people, that's a significant challenge. Some agencies choose to pay that fee or choose to try to find some additional resources for clients so that that fee is covered. That's an option as well. Our delivery is an additional $180, so that means for delivery clients, the total fee is $240. If the client has the resources or is able to connect with somebody to help them pick up their belongings, the self-pickup is free. There's of course no charge to just come and pick up your own belongings. We also have new beds that are available for purchase. I can send out that information if somebody wants it. Please let me know. We'll send that out. And so those beds are available, but it is an additional fee. All right, so some information about our quality control standards. Like we had said in the beginning, most of the items that we have in our warehouse are gently used. And that's important for clients to know, to expect that they are gently used items and not new, though we do have a really wide variety of items and good quality items. When we accept donations, some of our basic quality standards are no rips, no stains, no pet hair, and no odors. We don't want clients to walk away with things that don't feel good to them or wouldn't feel good in their home. Along with that, we have some additional quality control standards for some of our items. So when we look at all electric items, so anything that comes in with a plug, that's sent to one of our 2 electrical shops. We have one in each warehouse, and it's inspected before it goes out into the warehouse. That means everything is plugged in. If something should heat, like a coffee pot, we make sure that it is heating. If something should cool, like a mini refrigerator, we would also make sure that those are cooling properly before they go out onto the floor. There are not warranties or guarantees on any of our items, but we know for sure when they are on our shelves that they work and that they're in good working condition. Let's see, we can also talk a little bit about bed bugs. I worked in housing and homeless services for a long time. I know bed bugs are really prevalent in the community, and we've taken some steps to try to make sure that we don't have that issue in our warehouse. For one, we have all of our staff and volunteers are trained on identifying bed bugs, and all of our items are inspected outside of the warehouse. So that means if you as a donor come up to us and want to give us your items, great, we're going to do a quick inspection before we bring it into the warehouse. If we go out to pick up items, we are also inspecting before the items get into the truck and before the items come into our warehouse. So we are trying to make sure that we take care of that. We also have a pest control company come every single month with dogs that are trained to smell bed bugs, and they go through the entire warehouse. All of our items are brought down to dog level. The dog goes through and smells every last item, and we make sure that we, again, don't have any problems within our warehouse. With our linens, and let me give you a sense of the scale of this. I told you earlier that every person who comes through, or every person represented in the household, would receive a towel set, a linen, a bed sheet set rather, and a pillow and a blanket. All of those items are inspected before they go out into the floor. So some sense of scale with that, last year we had 4,400 households that came to Bridging, and that represented almost 13,000 individuals. Every single item that went out to those 13,000 individuals was inspected. If things are in poor condition, we simply don't give them out. They go into the garbage, and we're done with that. If items come in and they're dirty, we'll try to get them clean. And if they don't come clean, we would give those items to a pet rescue place. to try to keep some things out of the landfill. If things either arrive in good condition or come clean, then we'll go ahead and put those into sets for the clients. So again, trying to make sure we have good quality items that go out onto our shelves for our clients. Any questions about quality control? Again, pop those up into the box. Our impact, some of our numbers. So I mentioned the 4,400 families in 2017, nearly 13,000 individuals. We, again, are working with people who are transitioning out of homelessness or experiencing poverty. And so for us and for our clients, what that looks like is about 90% are living with a household income of less than $20,000. The average value of the items received is about $1,800 for a family of 4. Then you can see the number of service hours down there, which is phenomenal. We really have a lot of people in the community pulling together to make this resource happen. Client survey. So your clients, when they arrive, or even before that on the referral form, will be asked for an email address. That's because we would like to send them a survey about 2 to 2.5 weeks after their shopping visit to see how things went for them. This gives us a gauge on it. Are we doing our jobs well? And is there anything we can improve on? Clients that do fill out that survey would be eligible for a $100 gift card. We do a drawing every quarter for that gift card. We're really proud of a lot of these results. Right now, the majority of clients are saying that they felt bridging made a positive difference in their life, that they were welcomed and respected when they were at bridging. And that's a really good thing for us to know that the experiences are so positive for the clients. Some of the comments we get, and this is phenomenal. We have so many clients offer up stories about what bridging meant to them. And I can say when I see those comment boxes and I'm doing a survey, I usually skip the box unless something was really, really great or really, really terrible. And we get so many comments of people having a great experience. So we selected some of those just to share with you. I'm going to highlight the last one there. That just is, this is what a client said. Opportunities for better living. Went from sleeping on people's couches to having my own couch in my own home. And that really resonates with me with the experience that I had as a case manager working with individuals who were moving from homelessness into their own place. And knowing that you have that initial sense of joy that you've ended that time of homelessness, that you've got your own place, you've got a roof over your head, but it's partnered with the realization that you don't have a bed, you don't have pots and pans, you don't have dishes. And so you're really in an empty space, unable to do a lot of the things that you need to do on a daily basis. So for me, bringing clients to bridging really filled that gap. I remember distinctly one client of mine who came to bridging. Before bridging, they were housed, but they were still going to get meals in the community 3 times a day because they still needed to eat, but they didn't have anything to cook with, even though they now had a kitchen. Coming to bridging was that game changer for them in terms of now having pots and pans and dishes. They could choose to connect with the community when they wanted to for meals, but they didn't have to just to get by each day. They had that option now to cook in their own home. The Lives We Touch, many agencies have some version of this. We call it the Lives We Touch, and it is simply those stories that, again, people offered and share what this experience has meant for them. That gentleman on the left there said, "I've been dying for a cup of coffee. I finally got a place to live, and I have not been able to have a cup of coffee. I don't care if it's just one. I just wanted a cup of coffee in my own home." We often have coffee makers, so I hope that he got one of those. And again, it's those simple things. It's giving people the basic resources they need in their home so they can move on with what's important to them. Okay, so referring agency. If you are not a referring agency of ours and you have a client who's in need of furniture and household goods, there are a couple of ways to do this. The one is to try to find an agency that would be willing to take your client and refer them through bridging. They would be the ones then to say, yep, I know this person, I know that they have a need for furniture, household goods, and they're willing to go on and schedule the appointment. The other thing we can do is get your agency on board as a partner agency. That would give you the ability to schedule your own clients' appointments. You would be able to have the option of having delivery, and then we would invoice your agency monthly. So if you choose to, and if your client is able to pay for, or if your agency is able to pay for those appointments for your clients, we would then invoice you at the end of the month rather than you needing to pay each appointment as you go. The process for that would be to, first of all, complete an agency application. We would review that in about 2 weeks' time, and I would be happy to send that out you can either, again, put it in the chat box if that's what you need, or I can send that out, those materials out, so they can come out in the post-webinar email. Once your agency has filled out the application, we would do what we call a contract. It's a partnership agreement. And then we would bring you in a couple of things about the tour. If you haven't had a tour, we would bring you in for a tour and then do the scheduling system training. We call that Appointment Quest. We would do that training so that you know how to schedule your clients' appointments. The other thing with the tour is that you don't need to be a partner agency and you don't need to wait until this time in the process. We would love to see you down for a tour whenever you would like to, whether or not you're a partner agency, whether or not you're able to do that. It's a great resource in the community. We would love to show you the warehouse and show you what that experience is like for clients. All right. So that is the end of what I have. I would love to know if there's any questions. Do you need to pull that? So if there's any questions or comments.
I will say, while we're waiting, Wayside refers to bridging quite often, and has the clients who can afford to pay for that fee do that, but we also have options through grants to pay for those really minimal costs, which is really helpful.
And that's a really good point to bring up. If your agency would like to pursue a grant or some pocket of dedicated funding for bridging, we would be happy to work with you on that, and I would connect you with our development manager, and she would be able to work with you on putting together a grant or a request for funding so you could have those funds to support your clients.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if you mentioned this. So if the client, do you ever have somebody to show up who's not with a partner agency, and what is the process then, or how do you link them with somebody to get people?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the forms that should have been sent out to you in the beginning is this paper called How to Receive Furniture and Housewares, and we can send that out again if needed. And that outlines the process for clients of how do you get connected with bridging. So when we have somebody sign up, we sit down, or show up rather, we sit down with them and we talk about what it would take to connect with an agency. And we would have those conversations with them about who are you already connected to, who might be able to make a referral for you. Even if they're connected with somebody that's not connected with us, we ask that they have that person call us so we can talk about what those options might look like for them and try to get them connected. A lot of it is just figuring out, where do you live? Can you talk to your county? Are you part of a faith community? Are you part of a healthcare clinic? Where are you connected, and how can we connect with them so that you can access these services?
And then are there payment options? I mean, what if somebody needs a payment plan or something like that? Is that ever an option? What happens with that?
Yeah, I'm not aware that we've done any payment plans. What we give all of you the option to do is to determine how the client's going to pay. And so you can ask that the client pay in advance before you schedule the appointment. That gives an agency that doesn't have the funds to pay for the appointment a little bit of security, knowing that that appointment's been paid before it's been scheduled. You can also work with the client to have them pay at the time of their appointment when they show up. And then if you as an agency want to pay as you go, you can do that as well. At the end of the month, we go back and we look at who has not paid for the appointments, and then we would talk with the agency. We would send you a bill, an invoice for that, so that we can make good on the rest of those payments. So those are the primary ways to do that. A lot of case managers in the community are pretty good about talking with their clients of, do you have the funds or not? And if not, who in the community are you connected with that may have the funds for this, and trying to broach that before the appointment's scheduled.
Mm-hmm. Any questions out there? Feel free to unmute yourself in the bottom left of your screen if you want to ask a question, or any experiences with bridging that you want to share with the group about clients you've referred and how that's gone for us. I know it's just been a great experience for a lot of our clients.
Thanks. And Fallon, I see your comment there. Thank you very much. We try really hard to make sure this is a positive experience, that clients have a lot of choice and a lot of dignity as they move through the warehouse, and they don't feel as though they're being given, here's your couch, but they actually get to go through as a shopping trip and choose what they would want, not only what they would need.
You mentioned they fill out a little bit of information. What kind of information do clients have to provide to bridging to get
In the beginning, yeah. In the beginning, when you schedule your referral, most of the information is demographic information and contact information. We do ask about payment, so we have some kind of idea of if the agency is agreeing to pay or if we should ask the client for payment when they arrive, so some questions like that. And then we have a little bit of information that we collect mostly for funding purposes. So about, what is the level of income for the household, those sorts of questions as well.
If there's anything that they don't feel comfortable answering or don't want to write, I mean, is there an option to do that in person with somebody or talk with someone there?
So if they wanted to call us to schedule the appointment, yeah, you can. The thing with it is what we would do is enter it into the system just the way any partner agency would. So it wouldn't be any different than a partner agency entering the information.
Sure. Any other questions out there for Kelly? And I see Krista has joined us. She's from MIWRC. Krista and Maria, do you guys want to unmute yourself and just introduce yourself and where you're from? Krista's going to go first.
Yeah, I'm with the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and we refer to you guys all the time. So Bridging has been an awesome resource for our clients and for the Native community. So I just thank you for all the incredible work and support.
Wonderful. And Krista, right back at you with that too, because I've also had clients work very closely with your center and just phenomenal work there. So thank you for your work in the community as well.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
I'm Maria. I'm from Mothers First, and we also utilize Bridging quite a bit. And I just hear a lot of good news and great news from my clients, and I'm glad you're there.
Good. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Good. Thank you.
Any other questions or, comments, things for Kelly?
I have a comment. One of the things that I ask my clients to do, I don't know if it says it in your paperwork, but I have them look at their space at home and write down the kind of things that they want and that they know will fit. Because I know sometimes when they get there, it's like, oh, this is a really nice couch. But I'm like, yeah, but your apartment's really small and that might be a little bit too big. So just to kind of have a clear idea of what they know will fit so they're not too overwhelmed when they get there.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for that, Fallon. That's really great work that's being done in the community that helps our clients come in prepared and feeling a lot more confident through the shopping experience too. We know that hopefully those conversations are happening. If not, our volunteers are having those conversations as well as people are going through shopping and saying, you can take 6 seats, for instance, but tell me about your space. Tell me what kind of space you have and about how much you think would fit so that we can really work with the client to make sure that what they select, they don't later have to give up because it doesn't fit.
You've been there a few months. Have you?
Just a few months,
you've been through the process with clients of kind of the shopping and the.
Yes.
Can you give us an example of kind of a family situation that is a typical or kind of something that you would normally see? I know we each work with different populations, but what's kind of the range of family situations that you run into there?
In terms of who's being referred and reasons why,
and how that goes for them.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, and statistically I can tell you, it's over 50% of the people coming are moving into an apartment or into a home out of homelessness. So that is the most common situation that we're seeing. That being said, we are working with individuals that have experienced domestic violence, who have had to flee quickly. We're working with immigrants and refugees who are new here, who are truly starting over in a new country, a new home, everything. And so we're working with those individuals as well. We're working sometimes with people that have had something go wrong, so maybe a pest infestation, something like that, and they needed to get rid of most or all of their belongings and again are starting over. So those are some of the more common situations. And that being said, every situation is unique. We're all human service providers and know that as well.
This is Roxanne, and some of our clients from the Addiction Medicine Clinic are, for example, grown adults but living with a relative, perhaps even a parent still, and or again rather than still, and because they have lost so much through their opioid use disorder, and so they have perhaps some long-term goals of getting their own place, but it's a slow process. Is there any way in which you would support this kind of an exposure to what is available for support for, the possibilities of what's available in the community that makes it perhaps a little bit more realistic for them to see it as becoming true for them? Anything you can speak to about that?
I'm not sure if I'm quite clear on the question. I mean, just for clarity's sake, are you looking at maybe connecting with those individuals just so that they know the resources there when they're ready?
Right. Yes. I think sometimes, a lot of these folks have lost so much and they're a pretty low expectation for them because of the years of opioid use disorders and the kind of destruction of life, and kind of hope gets diminished. And so as people begin to get into a recovery process, it's somewhat hard for them to see that they would ever return to a position of being able to have their own place and actually have it be funded. And so the exposure to Bridges might actually give them that kind of inspiration to see that other people are doing it and that there are community resources supportive. So it's not just all up to them. I think the main key that we see that makes a difference between people who are able to maintain recovery and those who are not, or those that see a supportive community and have that social network, but it's also a broader network, which I see Bridges being a part of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I can say, and I'm not sure, let me know if this is quite what you're talking about, but it would be a situation where we would be happy to come out to speak with whoever, or to play the video to talk about common circumstances that people are coming from and how the community is really here in a large way to support them and to support their steps forward. Our volunteers are a testament to that. The fact that we are donation-based and can provide just such an extensive amount of items for households demonstrates that our community is in this and is supporting them as they move forward too. And then there may also be opportunities there for them to connect with us in terms of volunteering, either before or after visiting Bridging, so that they can also, again, be part of a bigger community and not feel isolated. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So, Roxanne, would you like me to connect with you after this? Maybe we can.
Sure, I would connect you with more of the staff that are directly doing service provision in the addiction clinic, so I could have, especially if there's any printed material, I could send the link in the video that you shared. Certainly, I glanced at your website; that was helpful too. But I think that does make a difference to have people know about the resource.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if there's resource fairs, anything like that, that can be an easy in, but I would be happy to do something separate from that if it would be beneficial to your clients as well. One resource is this How to Receive Furniture in Households flyer that we have, and that can be widely distributed with your clients as well. So we'll make sure that that's included in the post-webinar email that goes out so that you can hand that out to your clients as well. Great. Thank you.
And that video that that Kelly showed is available through their website, so we'll send a link to that too for both staff to watch and also for potential clients too. So, any other questions for Kelly? If you think of some, we'll also have her contact information in that email that'll be coming out too.
Yeah. Contact us at any time. There's a lot of funny things that happen or hiccups in the housing process or whatever. Just contact us. Let us know what's going on and we'll see how we can work with it.
Great. Such great services. That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming and talking with us about it. So we're going to do Rebecca's wrap up. Here's what I'm told to talk about. We're going to send out an evaluation in that email as well that will come out to everybody who's attended today. So if you would please take a few minutes to fill out the evaluation, and there's space in there too to recommend future topics. So please let us know if there are other things you want to learn about that we haven't done already. So there'll be Kelly's information, the information she's talked about today will be in that email, as well as your evaluation and her PowerPoint, I believe she said she would share too. So if you haven't already, maybe just those of you who've joined us halfway through, if you'd put your name and credentials in the chat box just to make sure that we get you for attendance. That is always helpful for us. Take a minute to type your name in there. And always invite people from your agencies. I think that's always the best way to let people know about these quick little echoes, which are really great ways to learn about resources or approaches or treatment options and things like that. So let your coworkers and your cross-agency colleagues know about ECHO. We're going to start doing it every 2 weeks instead of once a month, which is really exciting. Our next one is going to be Thursday, September 20th, the same time, 12 p.m. to 1 o'clock. And the next month's topic is Bridge to Benefits, which we talked about is a little confusing. Bridging is the furniture. Bridge to Benefits is a program through Children's Defense Fund that improves family economic stability by connecting families with workforce support programs and tax credits. So we're going to have Stephanie Hogginson from Children's Defense Fund here on September 20th at this time. So anybody that you would like to invite to that, send a reply to that email that's going to come out to you. That'll come from Rebecca probably. So if you reply to that and want to have her invite somebody for you, we can always add people to the list from that. Any other questions or comments or thoughts before we go? Okay, well, enjoy your day. We're going to get done a little bit early. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Yeah.